Father called me a failure at Christmas in front of my 8-year-old daughter, saying that a single mother who worked from home writing little texts would never amount to anything in life, not like my doctor's sister. He made Emma cry when he said she should be ashamed to have a mother who played on the computer instead of having a real job. And my sister agreed, saying I was the example of what not to do in life. I watched my daughter's face crumble, watched her small shoulders shake as tears rolled down her cheeks, and I felt something cold and sharp settle in my chest. My mother reached across the table to pat Victoria's hand, murmuring something about how proud she was to have at least one successful daughter, while Emma fled to the bathroom. The crystal champagne flutes seemed to mock me with their expensive gleam, the designer Christmas decorations suddenly feeling like weapons in my parents' Lake Oswego showcase home. I stood slowly, every eye in that dining room tracking my movement. Victoria smiled, that same condescending smile she had perfected in medical school, while her surgeon husband James nodded in agreement like a dashboard ornament. My father leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, clearly expecting me to defend myself or worse, to break down crying like I had when he criticized my decision to keep Emma after her father abandoned us. Instead, I carefully folded my napkin, placed it beside my untouched slice of prime rib, and walked calmly to collect my daughter. I heard my mother's voice call after me, something about not being so sensitive, that they were only trying to help me see reality. What they did not see was my other hand slipping my phone from my pocket, already recording every word of their continued commentary as I walked away. My name is Diane Foster, and until that Christmas dinner, I had spent 8 years trying to prove myself to a family that measured worth in medical degrees and six-figure salaries. I was the failure who got pregnant at 25 during her master's program, the disappointment who chose freelance writing over a corporate career, the embarrassment who raised her daughter alone in a modest Pearl District apartment, while my sister lived in a waterfront mansion. What my family never bothered to learn was that my little texts were strategic marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies, that my playing on the computer generated $95,000 last year, or that the laptop they mocked contained a portfolio that would make their financial advisor skills look elementary. But I had tried so hard to maintain peace, to let their comments slide, to protect Emma from seeing the ugly truth about her grandparents' conditional love. That ended the moment they made my daughter cry. By the time I buckled Emma into her car seat, my mind was already working through files I had saved, connections I had made, and information I had politely ignored about my perfect sister's perfect career. They wanted to see what playing on the computer could really accomplish, and I was going to show them exactly how powerful little texts could be. Emma cried herself to sleep that night, her small body curled against mine as she whispered that maybe Grandpa was right, maybe she should be ashamed of me. Those words cut deeper than any insult my father had thrown at me, and I promised her in the darkness that being kind and doing good work mattered more than fancy titles. But after she finally drifted off, I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop and let the fury I had been suppressing fuel something much more productive than tears. I pulled up every file, every contact, every piece of information I had carefully archived over the years about my sister's career. Victoria had always been careless around me, discussing cases at family dinners, complaining about difficult patients, mentioning lawsuits that had been quietly settled. She assumed I was too stupid to understand medical terminology, too irrelevant to matter. The first thing I discovered took less than 20 minutes of searching